Welcome to the Big Play Cleveland Show presented by FanDuel. I'm Gabriella Cruz alongside Chris McNeil, Nick Padone. Big shout out to our producer Ryan Smith as always. Guys, we are excited today to be in studio. First road win for our Browns since Nick. He's been keeping track.
Since week 2 last year.
Long time.
A victory Monday. These don't come by too often. It feels so good.
And, McNeil in full decked out Ohio State for
Ohio
obvious
State,
reasons
we got
as well.
the game this week. Who can forget? 4 years now running. That ends this Saturday, so everybody in Columbus is excited about that, Nick. Short week. We've got Thanksgiving. All good vibes, starting with the Browns. The Cavs looking good. Ohio State still #1 in the country. So as we sit here going into this week, I am feeling very thankful.
A true victory Monday. A victory Monday sweep, if you will, across the board. Vibes are high.
We're going to get into so much Shedeur Sanders talk. Everybody had an opinion, including Donovan Mitchell yesterday after post-game. Big shout out to the Cavs PR staff and Don for giving me a couple extra minutes after interviews closed down. We just had to get his thoughts on Shedeur. You had the wrist up post-game. Just excitement for Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, I think I'm the most hyped in the locker room. I've been talking about it. I said before the year started he was going to start at some point, and then that was the one game I went to was the Ravens game. And he came out and played well or played okay, and then obviously now to see him, have a good game and the team wins, that's big time, and just want to show our support because, he's a talented player and he gets a lot of hate, a lot of unfair criticism and all that, but man, this kid's phenomenal, and I hope he has a hell of a career.
Wall-to-wall Shedeur Sanders coverage. Have we asked Jose Ramirez? Have we asked Stephen Vogt for their thought on Shedeur Sanders? Because right now it's the talk of the Donald Trump, the president of the United States, released a statement about Shedeur Sanders where he told the world, "I told you so." This is absolutely bananas.
I thought you were being facetious.
No, he actually did.
Yeah, literally. I mean, that's
incredible.
all anybody in town can talk about. That's all wall-to-wall on the radio right now. Nationally, everybody's talking about the Browns. So, hey, I don't know what the future holds for us, but right now, pretty exciting around Browns football, and I'll take that late in the season.
The future holds some Joe Thomas Shedeur takes after this. We'll be back with more Big Play Cleveland right after this. Welcome back to the Big Play Cleveland Show. It is time for our Garage Beer featured interview. Garage Beer is the perfect beer for any occasion. It's small batch, no frills, no bitterness. It's just beer that tastes like beer. The Garage is always open with Garage Beer, and now we welcome on a very special guest. We've got Browns legend, Hall of Fame left tackle, Joe Thomas. Thanks for joining us virtually, Joe.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for having me on, guys.
We were just saying prior to you coming on, the vibes are high, and this is the best time for you to be joining us.
Yeah, the radio that I did in previous weeks was not quite as much fun. It was a lot more painful, and I definitely didn't look forward to it as much as I do this interview.
What did you do for the game? And, tell us about what your Sunday was like.
Yeah, so this weekend was actually the opening of the Wisconsin deer gun season. And so we got the whole family together. We were hanging out at my farm. And then actually on Sunday, we grabbed a Christmas tree. So we went and did the old fashioned cut down the Christmas tree like Clark Griswold. And then we came home and just watched it at our house in Madison with the kids. So it was a beautiful Sunday, and it finished just the right way with the Browns getting a win and Shedeur Sanders playing much better than he did in his first opportunity.
Yeah, what did you think of Shedeur?
I thought it was awesome. I mean, clearly when you're a rookie and you're getting your first start, it's not going to be perfect. You're not going to have everything. You're not going to look like a polished NFL player. Even if you were a first round draft choice, what everybody said was going to be, NFL start ready. And one of the reasons Shedeur slid to the 5th round is because he really hasn't played in an NFL system before. And so there was going to be a big learning curve with understanding how defenses were trying to attack him, reading coverages, knowing where the football was supposed to go. But the thing that was so positive for me is the bad habits that we saw in college, and we saw a little bit in the preseason, and then we saw 2 weeks ago against Baltimore, they got better, right? He only took 1 sack in this game. He got rid of some of those tendencies that seemed to follow him, where if he didn't know where the ball was supposed to go, he would just keep drifting, and then try to make a play. But he's not exactly the most athletic quarterback to be able to escape the rush like a Lamar Jackson. And so he was getting these huge sacks, which was putting you 15, 20 yards behind the 8 ball when you take a 15 or 20 yard sack. And so I thought you saw huge progress all across the board, specifically in some of those areas that he needed to make huge improvement on. He made it.
One of the things we saw in yesterday's game from Shedeur was a nice long pass down the field, 52 yards to Isaiah Bond. What does that do for an offense when you're able to kind of take the top off the defense like that?
Well, it's huge because going the long, hard way, 4, 5, 6 yards at a time is really, really hard in the NFL, no matter how bad the defense is. And the Raiders, they don't have a very good defense, but still, to be able to just put good play after good play and go 10, 15 plays and go down and score, it's so hard because one bad play, like a sack or a drop pass on a third down or a negative run, like it completely kills the drive. And so to consistently be able to have a successful play against the defense in the NFL is really hard when you have to string 15 in a row. So getting explosive plays is a really important part of any good NFL offense. And when you do start hitting some of those big plays, they almost always lead to a score. A lot of times it's 7, sometimes it's 3, but the other thing it does is it opens up a lot of the underneath stuff, right? And that was one of the things that Dillon Gabriel had not really done for the Browns. He was throwing a lot of short passes and he wasn't pushing the ball down in the middle of the field or deep down the sideline. And so what the defense was doing, especially in the coverage, is they just keep creeping down. Pretty soon you got 11 guys within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage. It makes running the ball much harder. It makes checking the football down much more difficult. And it makes those easy completions that we saw Shedeur Sanders was able to make, one, which led to a huge Dylan Sampson touchdown. Yeah. It makes them impossible when the defense is right there. But when the defense is backing up because they're worried about you throwing the ball over their head, it opens up all those easy things underneath.
Joe, obviously Shedeur is now the third different Browns starting quarterback this year. How difficult is it for an offense, the line, the receivers, to deal with so many different signal callers? And do you think that could lead to Kevin Stefanski just making the decision to stick with Shedeur for at least next week?
Well, I really do believe that they are going to keep Shedeur as the starter for the rest of the season, unless something happens, whether it be injury or, ineffectiveness or whatnot. But the way Kevin Stefanski is, he's a very measured, calculated, analytics type person where he's not going to just emotionally be excited after the game and then just declare Shedeur the starter. He wants to go back. He wants to watch the tape. He wants to talk to the other people that he trusts that are involved in making that decision before he comes out and names who that starter is. And I think that's the right decision. It may not always be the most popular with fans who are ready to jump on the Shedeur bandwagon and say, yeah, he's our guy the rest of the season, but it just does make sense, right? He gave you an opportunity to stretch the defense, throwing the football down the field. That's huge, right? We didn't have that with Dillon Gabriel. He made significant progress on the areas that you needed him to make progress, specifically drifting in the pocket, taking sacks, seeing the defense. And he gave you something that was fun. And he gave you an opportunity to really study this quarterback room that we have right now and then be able to make that decision, which is the most important decision that this franchise has in the offseason of, hey, we got 2 first-round picks next year. Are we going to use them on a quarterback, or do we think that one of these 2 guys we have right now can be the quarterback of the future?
Let's talk about that fun factor with Shedeur Sanders. You see a guy like that, he's got a lot of swagger, a lot of charisma, and fans assume that, hey, everybody's going to kind of line up behind this guy. You've played with a lot of quarterbacks in your day. What's it like when you got a guy like that in the locker room, and can it have that positive effect of kind of galvanizing everybody behind him?
It definitely can, especially when you got a guy who's a playmaker. And that was one of the things we saw from Shedeur this past weekend, right? He was able to make big plays off schedule. The big play to Isaiah Bond on the sideline, the Raiders blitzed. A lot of times the ball comes out quick. He was able to escape the pocket without just drifting backwards, right? He found a little lane. He rolled to his right, and he's able to hit a big play down the sideline. And that's going to spark everybody's excitement on the sideline. One, when you make a big explosive play, it's just exciting. It's fun to watch. That's some of the great things about watching NFL football is you can score from anywhere on the field if you can throw a big pass down the sideline and throw it over the top of the defense's head. But also, like, your receivers are now excited because it gives them reason to run those for the love of the game routes where they're just running straight down the field and they're trying to push those safeties back. They're trying to take the top off the defense a lot of times to open up underneath throws, but every now and then the ball comes to you. And so I think you got to give those receivers a realistic belief that, hey, every now and then just keep your eyes open, keep that hand up, throw that mailbox up and let me know, hey, I'm open, give me the football. And we got a really fast guy out there with Isaiah Bond, who's good at running past people. And he's been doing it a lot this season, but we haven't thrown him the ball at all. And so I think it invigorates those guys. It makes the O-line excited because now they're excited. Hey, I get to go to the sideline, go eat a snack, drink a little bit of water, and I don't have to stand out on the field for 10 or 15 plays, and we still get the touchdown. And then on defense, they're loving it too because they've been busting their butt all season long. And for the most part, the offense hasn't held up their end of the bargain.
Joe, you mentioned right there the defense, and Myles Garrett was all smiles after that long throw to Isaiah Bond. And after the game, Myles Garrett admitted that he hadn't seen a throw like that and that there isn't too many guys in the National Football League that can make that throw. But Myles himself is playing just a tremendous level of football right now. And obviously you got to face him at practice every single day. But what is it about this season? Because it certainly seems like we're looking at a different version of Myles Garrett, and that's hard to comprehend, especially when you factor in how great he's been throughout his entire Browns career.
All I can say is a lot of guys, they just keep getting better as they get older. As long as they're able to avoid injury, they're going to keep understanding the game more. They're going to understand how linemen are trying to block him, how they're trying to attack him, how they're trying to double team him. And then you find little nuances within that to be able to try to take advantage of it. And I think Myles is really understanding the game as well as he ever has. His athleticism, his strength is probably better than it ever has been. And he's able to get to the quarterback probably even a little bit better than he has been in years past, which he's been pretty good. I mean, he's already a Hall of Famer. He's already been named Defensive Player of the Year. And so to be able to take it to another level is really amazing. And I think it's cool to see that in a season where they haven't won a lot and the offense hasn't played very well, it would be easy for the defense to just kind of shut it down, especially if the offense isn't playing very well. But they're playing at a consistently high level with great effort. And so credit to the defense, credit to the defensive coaching staff for being able to motivate them within beyond just, hey, let's try to play as hard as we can because we want to win the game, right? And that's the challenge as a coach sometimes is when you're playing in those seasons that feel like lost seasons, how do you find different ways to motivate your guys outside and above of the fact that, yeah, we all want to win the game, but if we are in a situation where we can't win the game and the offense isn't playing very well, or you're going into it and you're thinking, well, you know, we don't have a great opportunity, a great shot this week, but we need to get the most out of ourselves. We need to look and turn that pointer back to ourselves and say, hey, if we don't win the game, it's because we didn't get enough turnovers. We didn't score on defense. Like you block out what the offense is doing and you find internal ways to motivate yourself. And they've done a great job of that. Myles has done an amazing job of that. And you're seeing it right now where they're playing some of their best football as a unit. You know, a lot of that is Shedeur Sanders coming in there. Quinshon Judkins is playing really well, getting more comfortable with that offensive line. Offensive line's blocking a little bit better. And you've got that defense continuing to play at that super high level. And I think it's just starting to be a little bit fun for us fans to watch these guys. And it's clear that they're having a lot more fun now as well.
Speaking of fun, Stefanski yesterday kind of busted out some fun play calling, bringing back the Wildcat. Of course, the Wildcat was big back when you were playing. Now we're seeing it come back a little bit with Judkins and be successful. What's it like as an offensive lineman? When they bust out the Wildcat, what's it like for you blocking?
A lot of times it's fun, right? Because typically you're bringing in extra tight ends, you're bringing in another running back. So you kind of have that fullback quarterback combination. Of course, with Wildcat, your quarterback is your running back. And it's good old fashioned smash mouth football. And as an offensive lineman, there's not many things that you enjoy more than just lining up and saying, hey, mano y mano, bro. I'm just going to run right through you and come out the backside. And there's nothing you can do about it because we got this big old back behind us and he's just going to blast right through. And it becomes like a toughness thing. It becomes a pride thing. And when your offensive line can do things like that, it's like they put the sombrero on us and it's up to us to get this dude in the end zone. And as a lineman, you always love being in that situation where the offensive coaches, they trust you guys to get that push, to dominate your opponent and get your running back in the Wildcat in the end zone.
So, Joe, a big week for the Browns and a big week for everyone as we've got Thanksgiving coming up. And, of course, it's always big when it comes to food because of your beef. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing there with Hall of Fame beef by Six Springs Farm.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of really fun stuff. And the most important thing is my wife called me today and agreed that we don't have to do turkey for Thanksgiving. We can actually do our Hall of Fame Wagyu beef. So I'm super excited about that. I pull out my chuck roast and I'm going to cook it in the sous vide and probably finish it on the grill and slice it thin. But as you're showing right there with the pictures, we're really excited about a couple of the collaborations that we've done going into the holiday season. We think it's just a perfect opportunity to be able to get that easy button to give people in your life that you love an amazing gift that they're going to be super excited about, that they don't have to find a place to hang it on the wall or a place to put it in their closet. All they got to do is find a place for it in their fridge, and then they're going to be happy for all 12 days of Christmas with the Cleveland collection. It's really cool. We've got a stadium mustard summer sausage in there. We got a bunch of our jerky, our beef sticks in there. And we've also got our all Cleveland coffee in there, and we're trying to focus Cleveland products. We got an autographed card from me, an autographed picture from Stipe Miocic, all sorts of goodies. Everything's kind of Cleveland, Northeast Ohio focused, so that if there's a Browns fan or somebody that's just a sports fan in Northeast Ohio and you want to buy them a really cool gift for Christmas, you can go to hallofamebeef.com and you can get them that Cleveland collection. We'll ship it right to their house, and I guarantee that they're going to be really happy about it. And it's something that we think is really fun and cool for the community to be able to have an opportunity to give somebody in their family, especially if they're a sports fan, a really cool and unique gift for the holidays.
Good stuff from Joe Thomas. It's definitely looking like you're staying busy in retirement and you've got your entrepreneurial cap on. Thanks for spending some time with us. I love the collaborations you're doing.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks for having me on, guys. Always happy to talk after a Browns win.
We'll be back with more Big Play Cleveland right after this. The Big Play Sports Network is brought to you by Garage Beer. No bitterness, no frills, no IPA, just beer-flavored beer. Find local retailers who sell garage beer near you by visiting drinkgaragebeer.com.
Hey everybody, it's Nick Pedode with my friends at Northeast Factory Direct. You look outside, the leaves are not just changing, but they're falling off the trees, and that means you're going to be spending a lot more time inside. So get the inside of your house right this fall, this winter with our friends at Northeast Factory Direct. Whether you're remodeling your kitchen, updating your furniture, just looking for a new mattress, Northeast Factory Direct is the place for you. There's no fancy showrooms, no high-pressure salespeople, just high-quality items at great prices. Gets even better for our listeners. When you're shopping at Northeast Factory Direct, you're getting ready to check out. Ask for that extra special Big Play bonus. Visit them today in Cleveland, Euclid, Macedonia, North Canton. Check them out online at northeastfactorydirect.com and make sure to ask for that extra special Big Play bonus.
All right, gang, what did you think? Browns 24, Raiders 10. You know, I know it wasn't perfect, but you can't deny that Shedeur Sanders is bringing an energy, and he totally leaned into it. The sound bites galore. I know we were talking about it earlier. Your thoughts as you were watching?
And it was fun, right? We're finally having fun again here in Cleveland in the middle of a season, which this season is going to be a waste. We're not going to be making the playoffs, but at least we've got something now that's entertaining in Shedeur Sanders. He had Dion there before the game. There was a nice moment with him and his son, and then he gets out on the field and you think, okay, how is this going to go? I think I was thinking that it wasn't going to go particularly well for Shedeur because he only had this week, famously about the first team reps. He really only had this week with the first teamers, and you didn't know with this Kevin Stefanski offense whether he was going to be able to get us in and out of the huddle, whether he was going to be able to move the ball at all. And lo and behold, we didn't have any penalties in the first half at all, getting in and out of the huddle, which is fantastic. And then he was moving the ball. He got the ball downfield. We'll talk about Isaiah Bond and that 52-yard bomb. He looks like a guy who can bring a little bit to the field and get the ball down the field, which inspires the offense, really gets things clicking. And I think when you're talking about full team wins, that also inspires the defense to keep up that effort that they've been doing all year long. It spills over into special teams. We see a nice field goal yesterday. It's nice to see a team win that I think a lot of that comes right from the quarterback position and the confidence right now that we see in Shedeur Sanders.
I absolutely love it. I really do. I really think that Shedeur Sanders exceeded expectations, even though the stat line was what it was, 11 for 20 passing. He was able to eclipse 200 yards passing. That obviously comes from the big screen pass. To me, Shedeur Sanders was able to do what Dillon Gabriel could not. I think back to that loss against the Jets, very winnable game. Dillon Gabriel airmails a screen pass about 10 feet above Malachi Corley's head. Malachi Corley was incensed. He was furious because Wyatt Teller had a guy buried. That would have broke for a touchdown. Shedeur Sanders hits that same layup to Dylan Sampson, and it breaks big for a 66-yard touchdown pass and the first touchdown pass of Shedeur's career. I really think doing those little things correctly was what Dillon Gabriel could not do, and ultimately why I believe that Shedeur Sanders should remain the starting quarterback moving forward for our Cleveland Browns, he showed you that promise. He showed you those flashes. It wasn't always pretty. The interception was a really bad throw where he flat out got fooled by really good coverage from the Raiders defensively. But you got to let him learn. You got to let him continue to develop. And to me, that means playing him in regular season football games. I was really encouraged by what I saw.
I will couch it a little bit. The Raiders, they are awful. We have seen some awful football teams this year. Raiders, awful. Jets, awful. Miami, awful. I mean, just really, really bad teams. So I'm anxious to see what happens with a true test.
Yeah.
You get the Niners this week. Hopefully he's going to be our starting quarterback. We can see him get up and close with him here at home against the 49ers. The 49ers don't have a great pass defense. I think they're like 28th right now in the league. So there's some potential there to throw the ball as they're a lot better against the run. So open it up a little bit with Shedeur potentially. We'll see what happens with Dylan. That's something, as the week progresses, that'll all come together. But I can't wait to see Shedeur at home, hopefully, against the Niners.
I know it's hard to say because, like you said, Chris, we don't know if it'll be Shedeur, but if it is, do you think that it was like in our best interest to have kind of a bad team for him to show out and not ball out, but do pretty well?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the kind of setup you want to see. Ideally, it would have been at home. This time it's on the road. It kind of works to his advantage, though, because you get a Las Vegas. That's kind of a different environment. Obviously, Browns fans, shout out once again. Great travel. Our team always travels very well, especially to locales like Las Vegas. And so you had plenty of fans out there, and maybe you had a little bit less pressure from not being at home. Maybe you can kind of mentally relieve yourself a little bit there. But in any case, you still got to go out there. You still got to ball out. He went out there on the field and showed what he had on Sunday, and I think it impressed a lot of people, both locally as well as nationally. You got a lot of buzz right now for Shedeur Sanders.
And when you layer all of those things in, like that he only had 3 practices, it wasn't just a road game, but a West Coast trip. And the Browns haven't won on the West Coast since I don't even know when. I lost count of that one, Gab. It's been years since they won out West. And the lack of practice, short start when you came in after such a bad debut against the Baltimore Ravens where he was 4-16 and threw a really bad interception. So to be able to flush all of that in a week where your home was, invaded while you were playing a game and burglarized,
right?
And you were able to curb all of that and put together a respectable outing, like I do think Shedeur Sanders does deserve a really nice pat on the back, even though it was just the Las Vegas Raiders, and they really are going to be soul-searching this offseason because I don't think Pete Carroll's saving that nightmare.
All right. How about Myles Garrett? Did we give him enough of a shout out here? He had 3 more sacks yesterday, and let's see. Do you think he'll break that record this year, and by how much?
Dude, we're out of adjectives. Like, other than like him breaking that record, he has 6 games to do it. He's 5 sacks away. Historical will be the only adjective that we have not used to describe Myles Garrett. And even then, we are using that because he broke his own single-season sack record in 12 weeks. It took him 12 weeks to break his own record. Like, he's playing the best football of his career right now. That's nuts. And it makes me want to stick with Shedeur so bad, and it makes me want to see if he could be a solution to anything so badly, because you have a defense right now that's Super Bowl caliber. Offense could be 0-17 caliber, but the defense is ready to go, and I want to capitalize on that with Myles Garrett playing so well at this stage of his career.
And not only the on the field, but then also on the sidelines. Just seeing that genuine exuberance from Myles Garrett on the sideline when he sees Shedeur Sanders throw the ball downfield, and he sees the potential there. He sees the potential of the offense. I don't know when he had that smirk on his face in the offseason whether he really knew what the plan was at quarterback, but now he's starting to see some promise, Nick. He's starting to see that there's a guy that might be able to do something here, give some hope on the offensive side of the ball so he can continue to grind on the defensive side of the ball. And I think that's just a great story and a great kind of transition from where we were with Myles Garrett, not only is on the field, but then also the off the field and how he's connecting back to the team and then back to the fans as well.
And that's the word. It's hope. Browns fans, the locker room, everybody, even if it's fleeting, even if it's just for 1 week and we all come back to life against the San Francisco 49ers a week from now, there's nothing wrong with having hope. Like, that's what all 31 other NFL fan bases wake up with every single week. You go into a game and you think that you've got a chance to win. Like Sunday before that Raiders game, it was the first time really all season that I woke up thinking, wow, the Browns could have a chance to win this football game. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being excited about the state of this team, even though you've only got 3 wins, because Shedeur Sanders, if nothing else, should bring this fan base a little bit of hope.
I feel like we should end it on that note because, I mean, I was going to talk about Jerry Jeudy and what the heck happened on that one.
The most embarrassing wide receiver in the National Football League right now. If you factor in his role as wide receiver number 1, his salary, $41 million fully guaranteed to do with that in that game with a rookie quarterback making his first start, the most, bar none, embarrassing receiver in the National Football League right now. He's got to get that straightened out. I know there are a lot of people congratulating Andrew Berry about this draft class, and for good reason, because these rookies look really promising. He's got to have another really good draft class this offseason because you've got to right some of the wrongs. You got to make up for some of the mistakes like the Jerry Jeudy's on this roster. That's just flat out unacceptable to have that kind of blunder in that game on that stage. Like, that's 8th grade football type stuff.
Yeah, and we talked about Myles Garrett and how well he's doing on the field and how well he's connecting to the team and his exuberance for this. And then the antithesis of that is Jerry Jeudy. Just not doing the
We
small
got Denver
things.
Jerry Jeudy. Get Mark Schlereth. Could we get Mark Schlereth on the show next week? Like, this is the same discontent. What was with the media availability during the week? Like, Jerry, who peed in your cornflakes? Everybody else is excited to play with Shedeur, not you. What's your bag? Tommy Reese is offensive coordinator. I actually like what the guy's doing. He's trying to get Jerry involved in the game, and when the football comes his way, he doesn't catch it, or when he does, what was he doing? Playing hopscotch?
Slows down. It was 2-hand touch at the end of that, and the guy behind him said, whoop, I'm going to be taking that ball.
I also thought he was too far away to even be doing the little hip-hop scotch
Way too
thing.
far. Yeah. that entire play was bizarre. I don't know if he didn't know that there was somebody behind him. I don't know if he thought that he was closer to the end zone.
Yeah, because I feel like you need to be at least a little bit. Like, even ballpark, he wasn't even close enough for me to feel comfortable with him getting excited.
He's really embarrassing right now. He's got to get it straightened out, and if he can, Andrew Berry has to go back into the well, or whoever the general manager of this thing's going to be this offseason has to go back to the well and address this wide receiver thing, because the Browns need one in the worst imaginable way.
We got to take a break. We'll be back with more Big Play Cleveland right after this. Welcome back to the Big Play Cleveland Show. It's time for our Fill in the Blank segment, and Chris is perfectly donned in all his Ohio State
Big week.
uniform.
Huge week.
Huge week. Ohio State beats Michigan if
We play loose, we coach loose. This team is significantly better than the Michigan team is. We go up there to Ann Arbor. We have got to, assert our dominance early in this ball game and play loose. Go out there and play football like you've played your entire life, like you played back in grade school, like you played in high school, like you've played in college. Go out there, play that type of ball, because the talent on the field on Ohio State's end of the field is significantly better than Michigan's. And if we can play loose, we are going to end up coming out of there with the W.
Yeah, because that was the same story last year. It really was. You were a more talented team. They were without so many guys last year. Michigan was, and it did not matter. They just absolutely handled you on both sides of the football field. So Ohio State just needs to stick to what they've done all year long. And you're seeing it now. And I get, like, Rutgers is not Michigan. Even this season where Michigan hasn't been too stellar. But, like, even without Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate, you see Julian Sains capable of flexing his muscles. You see this run game getting sorted out in real time. Bo Jackson looks to be the truth. So just play your brand of football. This is such a winnable game. This should not be a game that concerns anybody. But because of what's happened over the last 4 years, we've said that the last 4 seasons going into this matchup that nobody should be scared about Michigan. I'm going to say it again. Nobody should be scared about Michigan. So don't let them beat you.
All right, the official prediction for the game this Saturday is?
The spread is 10.5. I'm taking Ohio State 34-17. I think we're going to roll. I don't even know if it's going to be that close, but 34-17 is the score.
I like it as well. I'm in the 30s with you. I've got Ohio State winning this one 31-14. Okay. I think it's just going to be like, I can't, unless something unforeseen happens, and that's happened in this matchup before, I just can't see a way that Michigan, with the true freshman quarterback and Bryce Underwood, who has the promise, is going to be able to hang with Matt Patricia and what the Buckeyes are putting out there defensively and
what they've
offensively.
saved back defensively, right?
And then offensively with Ohio State, and maybe what they're saving back with Carnell Tate and this weird injury, and Jeremiah Smith, who actually does seem a little bit hobbled. Like, just go out there and let it all hang out against Michigan. Like, purge the demons of these last 4 seasons and beat them handedly. I love the 10.5 number. I know we've got our bets coming up, but 10.5, we should cover that.
Well, remember last year we were confident it was a 20-point spread. I think that's the only reason you don't see a gigantic spread in this game. Is
just history.
Just history. The last 4 years, the fact it's a rivalry game, the fact you throw out the records when you play this game. I think that's the reason you don't see a bigger spread, but I think Ohio State goes out. They beat the spread in this one.
All right, let's pivot to our Cavs. We have talked about the NBA Cup and kind of mixed feelings about it. The NBA Cup group play wraps up this Friday. The Cavs are playing the Hawks. Toronto already clinched our group, so Cavs advancing to the knockout rounds would be.
Thank goodness. So this means that it's about to be over.
Yeah, I'm the same way. That was news to me about the knockout round.
Thank goodness. And then the Raptors, for whatever reason, just have our number. So they clinched it, whatever that means. Good for them. Congratulations. Yeah, I don't get the sooner that we could get done with the NBA Cup, the better off we will all be.
You don't want that wild card? If we win on Friday, we have a chance of getting that wild card there.
Like, I think maybe that's the one thing that could save me from caring about the NBA Cup is if we could actually make some noise and I could figure out what's going on. But again, like, I do this for a living. Like, and I just still can't comprehend this entire thing. So please get us past the NBA Cup.
All I know is when the court looks a little different, I know we're playing a tournament game.
Right. I mean, I know they're making
and the ball
money,
is
but
hard to see.
And the ball is very hard to see, especially on those oranges.
All right, guys. Blank is the team I enjoy watching on the Cavs the most. Or beat the most, sorry.
The Celtics. The Celtics is the team I like to beat the most. I know right now with Jason Tatum out for the year that you don't see them at 100% strength, but it's still Boston. There's still that history there, and it's still a team that I like to overcome every time we play them, so give me Boston.
And I think it's New York for me,
Yeah.
just for similar reason, because they've been really good, storied franchise, super annoying fans, and this year it should be what it comes down to in the Eastern Conference Finals, Cavs, Knicks. I know the start of the season in the East hasn't exactly been that. I know the Pistons are probably like, where's our respect,
Right.
number 1 seeded in the East? Oh yeah, we've lived that here in Northeast Ohio with JB Bickerstaff before. That's some fool's gold out there in Michigan. So I like beating up on the Knicks, and with Thanksgiving finally here, I'm looking forward to that Christmas Day matchup. Cavs, Knicks, Christmas. It's going to be phenomenal.
All right, we've got to take a break. We'll be back with more Big Play Cleveland right after this. Welcome back to the Big Play Cleveland Show. This Smart Choice segment is brought to you by Smart Choice Windows. Right now at Smart Choice Windows, you can get 50% off all windows during our limited time promotion, plus take advantage of their special financing with no money down and no interest until 2027. And if you're looking to upgrade your whole exterior, Smart Choice Windows is offering $1,500 off siding for your entire home and $500 off entry door installation to boost your curb appeal. And remember that every project starts with a free, no-pressure estimate, so give them a call at 844-GET-SMART or visit smartchoicewindows.com and make sure to ask about the Big Play bonus to get an additional 10% off all promotions. I'm giving you the situation. We are picking the Smart Choice. If your family only lets you watch one football game on Thanksgiving,
I'm changing families, first of all. What are we doing
I'm in
here?
the transfer portal for families.
Exactly. My God. No, it's tradition, right? Thanksgiving is a tradition, so I look for traditional matchups. So give me that Detroit game. They're playing the Packers. They're 2 of the top teams right now. I love seeing that kind of tradition when I'm eating my turkey Knicks. So give me that game.
I kind of wish that game was the night game.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the best game on this slate. Like Chiefs and Cowboys isn't really getting it done for me. Those are 2 teams that are kind of meddling in the middle. The AFC North matchup at night. Joe Burrow is going to make his return, but what's it really matter? I think Baltimore is getting ready to run away with this division. I agree with you, Chris. I think that's the game to watch on Thursday.
Baseball Hall of Fame voting is going on now. If you could vote one retired Cleveland athlete into their sports Hall of Fame, the Smart Choice.
I'm going to go football on this one, and it's kind of Sophie's choice for me because you got two individuals that I think both deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. One is Clay Matthews, the outstanding linebacker for years, and the other one is our very own Josh Cribbs, the kick returner, the wide receiver, the sometimes quarterback and running back for us that basically did everything for us after we came back. He was just a menace out of Kent State, so much fun to watch, was a killer for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he was just the only reason in those years that you would tune into Browns football was for Josh Cribbs. So I think both of those individuals need to go into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, for me, like, it's so clearly Cribbs. I didn't have the opportunity to watch Clay Matthews, even though just understanding the history and watching the highlights and seeing the stats, it's actually an anomaly that he's not in the Pro Football Hall of Fame just because of the longevity alone. But when you mention Josh Cribbs and what he was able to do in that era of special teams and the way that the league is moving away from kick returns and punt returns, we'll never see a Josh Cribbs ever again just because of the way that the rules are changed. So I think you've got to tip your cap to that era of football history, that era of Browns history, and put Josh into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I've actually heard, and Chris, I wanted to run this by you, a Carson Schlesinger comp is none other than Clay Matthews.
Clay Matthews, and that makes sense. Makes sense, and that's a heck of a comp right now.
All right, guys, if you could pick any halftime entertainment for your sporting event, a sporting event you're attending. So I know when Super Bowl comes to mind, for example, you're thinking music, but any entertainment for halftime.
Red Panda, that's the only answer.
Standby.
Kick those bowls. I think she's actually on the IR. So thoughts and prayers are T's and
No
P's.
way.
Still with Red Panda. I think there was a little bit of an incident with the bowls. But yeah, that's one of what. If you're drafting best halftime shows and Red Panda isn't one of one, like, you've got a bad draft.
So I've seen Red Panda. I've seen Joey Chestnut. He's done it here at the Cavs games, eating contests. That's always fun. I've seen like the mascots playing the little kids. The best goes back to when I was a kid because my parents would do this. Whenever they'd have like the little peewee kids playing on the field, my parents and other people would bet on those games. And it was fantastic at halftime. You would see grown adults just going
throwing
nuts.
Cash around? Throwing cash around?
Oh, throwing real cash on the peewee kids down there. That was more fun than Red Panda and Joey Chestnut all together. Was watching those little peewee kids and you're thinking, man, oh man, I hope Dad wins this one so we can get McDonald's on the way home. So give me the peewee football players.
That's amazing. We're taking a break. We'll be back with more Big Play Cleveland after this. But don't forget, this segment was also brought to you by Smart Choice Baths. It's the perfect time to remodel your bathroom. And right now, Smart Choice Baths is giving you $1,250 off your bathroom projects, plus a free luxury upgrade to add comfort and style. Don't wait. Visit them at smartchoicebaths.com or give them a call at 844-GET-SMART to schedule your free consultation today. Smart Choice Baths, where luxury meets affordability.
The Big Play Sports Network is brought to you by Smart Choice Windows. Energy-efficient products at an affordable price. Visit smartchoicewindows.com today.
Welcome back to the Big Play Cleveland Show, where our big play bets are brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. The Cavs are quietly one of the hottest teams in the NBA, and FanDuel is your home for live betting. So even if you missed the start of the game or you just want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who's going to score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you could even combine your live bets into a same game parlay for a shot at an even bigger payout. However you want to play, now is the perfect time to join our friends at FanDuel because they're giving new customers $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. So just visit FanDuel.com/BigPlay to sign up today. Play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Got to be 21 plus. Present in select states. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit is required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com.
All right, gang, let's take a look at this. 49ers at Browns. The Browns are 6.5-point underdogs at home this week. What do the Browns need to do to win this game?
For the second week in a row, we get a team that's coming off of Monday Night Football here in the 49ers. And you pointed out before the show, Nick, that the following week they have a bye, so maybe a look ahead for them. I like the Browns covering in this game, if nothing else, just because of the positivity, the optimism of having Shedeur back there. I think that brings a little bit of swagger to our defense. Like I said before, the 49ers are not particularly good against the pass, so I think there is an opportunity for us to get some wins there on the field. And if you could do that and let our defense keep it close, then I think we can beat that 6.5.
Yeah, the defense is going to keep you in all these games, man. So if the quarterback can just push the football down the field, could keep the offense watchable, the defense is going to have them in this football game. And Chris, yeah, it's a weird spot for the Niners where Thanksgiving will have come and passed and they still have not had a bye week. They are beat up. Like, that front is not as ferocious as that defensive front usually is for the 49ers. They need this bye week in the worst possible way, and it's not going to come until after they play the Browns. They got to come all the way from California to Cleveland after the holiday. It could be a trap spot for the Niners. I like the Browns to cover the 6.5. I think this is going to be a close game.
The over-under is 41.5. Are you taking the over or the under this week?
I'm going under again. Ultimately, I know that Shedeur Sanders brings a lot to the table there, but our offense is still going to be limited. We don't have wide receivers here. He's found a few, but I don't think enough to continue to take us to that next level right now and really affect that point spread. And I think by contrast, our defense is going to do a good job against the 49ers. Keep the overall points low.
And right now, the Niners are weird too. Like, where they're kind of asking themselves, is Brock Purdy that much of an upgrade to Mac Jones, who has played a significant amount of snaps because Brock Purdy's been injured? Obviously, they have Christian McCaffrey, they have Brandon Ayuk, they have Brendan Jennings, who's been a really good receiver for them, and offensively, the Browns don't really have those kind of weapons to be able to match. I'm with Chris. I just can't trust the Browns offensively quite yet, so I still tend to lean under, but to be honest, when we're betting on these games, I just completely avoid the spread, the total, because it's just a complete guessing game of what iteration of the Browns will show up each and every week.
Anytime touchdown scorer, who's going to get in the end zone this week? And I feel like we could either be facetious and do Jerry Jeudy, Chris, or...
I like Harold Fannin. I'll
Me
tell
too.
you what, he had some nice runs once again. You talk about heart. We talked about Myles Garrett there. We talked about the guys on this team that have heart. On the offensive side of the ball, Harold Fannin's one of those guys. He will fight for that next yard. He will fight for that yard after that. He will continue to fight. And I love seeing that out of a tight end. And I know Shedeur does too. So he's going to continue to target him. I think he gets in the end zone.
You guys know that, like, I love David Njoku. I feel like David Njoku's the heartbeat of this team and all of that stuff. With this free agency period coming up, I don't know, man. Like, you've got a really nice option there in Harold Fannin Jr., and the way that the Browns are deploying him as not just a facet in the run game, but also as like a true primary pass catcher in this offense, it will make Njoku this offseason look disposable, especially when you consider the amount of money that you have to pay Jerry Jeudy and you have to pay, towards Deshaun Watson's massive mistake of a contract. Like, Harold Fannin's going to continue to be a centerpiece of this offense, and betting him to score a touchdown, regardless of who the quarterback is going to be a smart bet the entire rest of the way, because I think they're going to try to feature him so they could sell themselves on this guy even further to make some of their offseason decisions that much easier, if that makes sense.
Yeah, he had 4 receptions yesterday for 40 yards, an average of 10. David Njoku, no receptions, no targets. I don't see him anywhere on there. So, yeah, Harold Fannin, I think they're going to continue to get him the ball until we have really good wide receiver options. Isaiah Bond, he's starting to unlock him a little bit, but I think Harold Fannin's going to be that security blanket that he's going to be looking for out of the backfield.
Before we get out of here, Chris, let's end on your Buckeyes. Let's take a look at the Heisman race with Julian Sayin. He's got the second best odds. He's behind Fernando Mendoza, and actually he and Jeremiah Love, Julian Sayin and him, have the same odds at their second, sitting second behind him. What do you think?
I think Julian Sayin needs to go out here in Michigan and have that Heisman moment. And I think he will. I like Julian Sayin an awful lot. I think this is the time for him to showcase his skills, to have that Heisman moment. So go up to the big house, Julian. Go take it to the Wolverines and go bring home that Heisman.
Because when you look at Fernando Mendoza's Heisman moment, he had one drive against Penn State. That was a game that you should have won handedly. Jeremiah Love, if you're betting on him to win the Heisman, you're just donating money. So Julian Sayin, prior to Michigan, prior to the Big Ten championship game, it could be a smart bet to make. I really like Sayin to win the Heisman. Beat Mendoza in the Big Ten championship, beat Michigan this week, and he'll have a genuine case.
All right, that'll be our wrap for the Big Play Cleveland show. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to tune in every Tuesday at 7 for a full breakdown of everything Cleveland Browns with Hanford Dixon, Josh Cribbs, and Phil Taylor. Catch it live on X, YouTube, or the Big Play app. That's the Top Dogs show only on the Big Play Sports Network. We'll see you next week.